All right.
All right, we got a special weekend podcast here, making our first round playoff picks. Yeah, so
Yep.
this should be good. I think for the record, you're ahead at the moment for your picks by one, so I got a bit of catching up here. So I guess all yours, man. West Conference first, correct?
Yeah, Western Conference. So the 1v8 matchup, we have Suns versus Pelicans, which surprised both of us thinking the Clippers would get out. I feel like the Suns are the best team in the West. I feel like they're going to handle their business. I think it's a clean sweep. I'm not even going to give New Orleans the credit that they'll get a game at home. So
I think neither of us picked Pelicans. In fact, I looked at the ESPN predictions. I think a day or two ago, and I think every single expert picked the Clippers. And then Paul George got COVID, right? So that's how quickly the situation changes, and the Pelicans capitalized and good on them. So now they're in the playoffs. I think again, look, Suns are obviously got all those positions covered. They're the hottest team, literally in the NBA at the moment this season so far. Look, for any chance for Pelicans to pick up a game or two, even, we're going to need like a supernova game from CJ and Ingram, probably both in the same game, in that sort of sense. So I actually got a similar pick to you, Phoenix in four.
nice. Yes. 2v7, which is Grizzlies and Timberwolves. Um, I have chosen to go with Grizzlies taking this series in six, so 4-2 as a split. I think the Timberwolves and the Grizzlies both being young teams, I think you'll get a lot of that up and down the floor, a couple of like erratic games, big one here, a bit of a choke job there. Um, but I don't see the Timberwolves upsetting the Grizzlies. There's a potential chance. I did look at it and think, oh, maybe this could be a 7-game series. Maybe this could even be an upset series. But I would like to think that if you are going to be correct about your prediction of the Grizzlies winning it all, they can't lose in the first round. So
That is true. They cannot lose in the first round. Look, did you look at my notes? Because my notes say Minnesota obviously have the talent to upset. Okay, and I think that's the facts. They've got three players that all stars or borderline all stars there. And they've got a supporting cast that can obviously, really sort of enhance those players and what they contribute to the game. But I think, like you sort of said, Grizzlies are sort of structured in a similar way. They've obviously Ja Morant and Jaren Jackson's going to have a huge series to just obviously play his part, and the shooters are going to come in and have to knock down their shots. But I think home court will help. I think Memphis were 30 and 11 at home. And I think obviously with that advantage. So I've got Memphis as well in 6 games.
all right, so far so good. Also, you forgot the fact that Pat Bev is just coming off the championship win, so he's feeling really pumped.
Oh,
So
I think he's
it's going
ready
to be
for a
cool.
holiday now, is it? You win a
Yeah,
championship,
yeah.
you just switch off and you don't show up anymore. Is that right?
Popping champagne. We're going to go with the 3-6 matchup. We have Golden State versus the Nuggets. This will be the first 7-game series that I'm going to give credit for. I believe Golden State will take it out, but I believe it's going to take 7 games to do it. And I wouldn't be shocked if this could go the complete opposite way. I think, yes, Golden State is a stronger team overall, but the lack of center presence plays right into the Nuggets' hand. A lot of people criticize the Nuggets for having a pretty bad team, excluding Jokic, but that team has gotten to the 6th seed in a very competitive West, and we're holding the standing against them a little bit more than we should, because it takes 2-3 more wins, and all of a sudden they're the 2nd seed. That was how close it was in the top 8 this year. And Golden State is not healthy. I'm sorry, like Steph Curry has had recurring foot injuries, and that's a factor. Clay is inconsistent, which is fine coming back from 2 injuries. Draymond obviously having the back injury for a good stint. And they got a couple of youth. They got Jordan Poole, who hasn't played proper, playoff experience. Kuminga as well. So I trust that Golden State will get it done, but I don't think it's going to be as easy as some people predict.
Can I just say ditto? I had Golden State in 7. Okay, I had Golden State in 7. And you obviously, I guess we look at the same situations, and like you sort of said, Golden State are not fully healthy. Will Steph come back game one? Will he be impactful, I guess, in the first few games, especially? And I think Jokic is just a poor matchup for Golden State. It's probably one of the worst spots for them to have MVP sort of opposition. I think at the 5 where they're probably a little bit weaker. It's a perfect situation where it would be nice if Wiseman was healthy and obviously not injured, so he would obviously just a bit more size to sort of, really sort of guard that sort of player. But I think home court will just, tilt them over the edge, and I think that, it could go either way again this series. But yeah, like I said, I got Golden State in 7.
Beautiful. And then our last matchup, which is a 4-5, which you would figure would be the most competitive. But I've actually, especially with the light of the Luka Doncic injury, Dallas versus Jazz, I've actually given the Jazz a gentleman's sweep here with the 4-1. Dallas really does hinge on Luka's health, and everything rolls around him. I can give credit maybe the Spencer Dinwiddie game, or the rest of the team might pull one out at home. But if Luka is not healthy, which I can't see how he plays in this, the Jazz should take this quite handily. Even if Luka did play, for example, the defensive scheme would just be to obviously load him up. And Jazz aren't known for their perimeter defense, but I really feel like the Mavs were strong with Luka, but I think that team has a couple more pieces to tweak to really capitalize on his, optimal value.
It's Jazz in 4.
Jazz in 5. So
5.
Yeah.
What's the status on Luka? Is he? Do you know something that I don't know?
So he had a left calf. It's a calf strain. That's what the MRI confirmed.
Yep.
And that would take about 4 to 6 weeks to heal. Now, what you have to factor in here is calf strains quickly go to, worst case scenarios of, well, that's how you can tear your Achilles. You can obviously throw out some other stuff as well. All the initial reports say that, like, he's X, Y, and Z. He's in good spirits. He wants to come back. None of it's definitive of like, no, he's playing.
Yeah, and I know he's obviously out round game 1, and that's a blow-being home game for Dallas. I think again, you want to pick up those home games as much as possible. You put yourself you feel in a good spot. Coming out of the gates at home. I think. Look, obviously, I sort of when we did that trade line deadline breakdown, I sort of put this trade as one of the poorest trades out there. And it's not that Dinwiddie hasn't played bad. He came out there and obviously has won some games for them, things like that. But I still think that they really did sort of downgrade their team. And this is a classic situation where now who actually stands up? Who actually stands up here? Are we expecting Dinwiddie to score 30 to 40 points a game? No. Who else on this Mavericks team will? I think at the end of the day, though, Jazz are a bit shaky, especially this time of the year. But look, you're absolutely right. Doncic is the key here, and if your feedback to me 4 to 6 weeks is the timeline, then I think Mavericks can't really rely on him. He might come back even in a sort of a deciding game or something like that. I think it's really hard for me to have to pick them. So I've got Jazz. I had Jazz actually initially in 7. Okay, I thought it was going to be a fairly close series, and that was with the healthy Luka. Look, I'm going to go Jazz in 6. Okay, so they're still going to get through.
Nice. Well, that wraps up our Western Conference.